The Seahawks and Colts aren't a mirage. Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are the real deal at quarterback and should lead their teams into the playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks, 5-2, and Indianapolis Colts, 6-1, are going to the playoffs. They are for real. Or at least real enough to meet that threshold. This is not a mirage. They aren't getting lucky and receiving undue gifts from the football gods. Their results are no fluke, and they are making it difficult to find cynics about either team's quarterback. The reality is that rival executives are taking Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones quite seriously. "I've watched a lot of both of them," said one former NFL general manager, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because he remains under contract with a team and is not permitted to comment publicly on opposing players. They are capable of carrying their team. It's not a fluke. They are two bad dudes, and you can see how their teammates are reacting to them. It's real, man. They aren't getting enough attention. Darnold is topping all NFL passers at 9.2 air yards per attempt, big boy football. And he is completing more than 68% of his passes, an issue earlier in his career, while ranking 4th in passer rating, 109.2, and 7th in passing yards. Since the start of last season, Darnold ranks 6th in the NFL in passer rating, 104.3, and 4th in yards per attempt, and his 47 passing touchdowns in that span trail only Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. The Sports Moment newsletter, reporter Ava Wallace takes you through the buzziest, most engaging sports stories of the week. Sign up for the weekly newsletters, /t.co/WMRLNLPBPP. Post Sports, at Post Sports, October 16, 2025. "He's turned the corner," said a high-ranking official from an NFL team that faced Darnold this season who spoke on the condition of anonymity because he is not permitted to comment publicly on opposing players. "This is who he is now. It's not a function of a system or anything like that. He's a top 10 quarterback." Jones's ascent is even more shocking. He was in the abyss a year ago as Darnold's career took off in Minnesota. Jones ranks 5th in passing yards and is completing a remarkable 71% of his passes, and his legs are taking over games as well. The Colts are averaging 33.1 points per game and a ridiculous 3.46 points per drive. Jones, once lampooned for his decision-making, has not taken a 3rd or 4th down sack or thrown an interception in those situations this season. NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger didn't mince words when asked how much he was buying the Colts as a true AFC power on a scale of 1 to 10, "I would say a 10. I can't see any real weaknesses. I think they are for real." Prepare to see both teams in the postseason. Who's making the call? The NFL's league office clearly has been affecting in-game decisions, especially during some primetime games, and it has led to questions among NFL executives. The lines between what can and cannot be reviewed, and by whom, are getting confusing, and the lack of transparency also is glaring. On Monday night, the adjudication of a pass to Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end Cade Otton drew the ire of some, with officials ultimately making what appeared to be 2 rulings on the matter before deciding he did not in fact make a first down. A week before, it was pretty obvious that a ruling on a Detroit Lions touchdown was reversed back in the league office in New York, with Detroit coach Dan Campbell later saying officials on the field believed a pass to Goff was legal. Most just want the league to get as much right as possible when it comes to officiating, but the lack of visibility and accountability of the process is confusing to say the least. Detroit Lions coach Dan Campbell disagreed with officials on a call during a game against the Kansas City Chiefs. David Hewlett/Getty Images. "Don't they have to tell us who is making those decisions?" the former general manager said. "Who is in the room in Central Command? Whose call is it? How are the decisions being made, and who is speaking to the officials at the stadium? What is the chain of command? It's not a good look. It seems strange what they are trying to fix right away and what they are letting go. Would it be too much to ask for a video setup in the league office with someone on a headset who could lend clarity, and a name and face, to the conclusions being drawn during the broadcast?" Around the league. I asked 3 executives who have been involved in the hiring of multiple coaches whether they thought Aaron Glenn had much of a chance of getting a second year as the New York Jets coach. None thought that was particularly likely, and that was before owner Woody Johnson started taking shots at his players during the NFL owners' meetings this week. If you study these things, one official with an AFC team said, you can kind of go back to the first 6 games for a lot of these guys and see signs of if this is going to work or not. Not in the wins and losses as much as game management, how they play in the third quarter, penalties. It's kind of revealing, actually, and this one looks really bad. The former general manager said, it just doesn't look up to par on the sidelines and how they are handling the game. He looks pretty overwhelmed to me. I don't think this ends well. New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields was benched Sunday. Adam Hunger/AP. It's fair to say Justin Fields' days as a starting quarterback are winding down. He has never been put in a particularly tenable situation from a coaching or infrastructure standpoint, but when an NFL owner takes direct aim at you in the media, it tends to have an impact. If I'm his agent, I'm trying like hell to get him out of New York by the trade deadline. The Green Bay Packers continue to befuddle the league with their inability to show up for more than a half despite a proven winning coach and stellar roster. I can't put my finger on it, the former general manager said. I don't think it's a lack of motivation, but they start slowly and crank it up, or they dominate the first half and then fall asleep. I know this much, it's not the quarterback, and it's not the coach. They're catching a lot of S, but it's still a one-loss team. I think they'll be fine. It's brutal to see tight end Darren Waller on injured reserve after coming out of retirement to make an immediate impact with the lowly Miami Dolphins. He would have been an interesting trade chip. 2 general managers told me they do not believe the Washington Commanders are nearly deep enough to withstand their injuries, and they don't foresee them in the playoffs this season. And they wonder whether the team will be extra careful with quarterback Jaden Daniels, given the way this season is going.